Hi everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to our paper pad party. Yes, and welcome back to Take 10. Yes, I'm probably going to need a drink because I don't know why, I just can't get with it today. But I told myself it's a party, it's okay, things are informal, right? Okay, so in our paper pad party today, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do some scrapbooking. We're going to talk about some paper pads. We're going to discuss paper pads, and then we got a little bit of learning we're going to do. How's that for a party? Yes. Okay. So now, in regards to organizing paper pads and our 12 by 12 size, I know that some of you are still working on that category, and that's completely fine. It's okay, because in the summer, it's so hard to find time for anything, let alone your hobby. Okay? I know you all know what I'm talking about. And so we're not going to get into other sizes probably for a week or two, because of just everybody's schedule and traveling and yard work, and we got things going on, so it's okay. You have plenty of time to keep working on your 12 by 12. Now, I wanted to say that I have gotten some questions about 8.5 by 11 paper pads, and I was thinking about that. And honestly, I do not think, I've been scrapbooking 23 years, I don't think I ever owned an 8.5 by 11 paper pad. I mean, I've been trying to think and think. I don't think I ever did. But I was recently traveling and I saw in a Hobby Lobby that they have 8.5 by 11 paper pads out in the Christmas category coming out, this year. And I'm thinking, I bet... See, I think I'm going to need a drink. I think it was that popcorn my daughter just gave me. Yes, white cheddar popcorn. Now, that's something to bring to a party. Yes. Do you have any more popcorn left? I think she's trying not to give me any more. Okay. So, yes, white cheddar popcorn. That was good. Okay. So, what was I saying? That's okay. That's okay. We'll bring it to the party next time. I'm already having a drink. Okay, she said more for her. Okay. And there was an evil laugh. Okay, so back to what I was saying. 8.5 by 11 paper pads. I honestly think we're going to see an influx of 8.5 by 11 paper pads coming up in the next year or two. Because you think about it, 6 by 6 are basically done. People are kind of tired of that. 6 by 8s, people are a little tired of that. But 8.5 by 11, I think that would fill the need for planner people. That would fill the need for card people. And, as scrapbookers, we just buy it all. If it's pretty, we'll buy it. So I honestly think, in my opinion, I think we're going to see an influx of 8.5 by 11 paper pads by just not box stores, but I think manufacturers. I think a trend. I think that's what's going to be coming up. So speaking of that, of 8.5 by 11 paper pads, go ahead and organize them in the same manner that you would do your 12 by 12, because that's going to be the closest in size that will match. Your 8.5 by 11 will match your 12 by 12 more than any other size. Because basically, if you have room for the 8.5 by 11, you'll have room for the 12 by 12. Mostly. Okay, so that would be my suggestion. If you have 8.5 by 11 paper pads, I'd put them right in with your 12 by 12 and organize them and inventory them the same as you would your 12 by 12 pads. Okay. Now, like I said, our other sizes we'll get to in a week or two. I just haven't got to that point. Yes. Probably because... yeah, it's just a lot to think about. It's a lot to talk about because, 6 by 6 pad, 4 for every one. You know what I'm saying? 4 for every one. So we'll talk about that coming up, okay? And what else did I want to say? Talking about paper pads, okay? 12 by 12 paper pads. And this is where you run into it. I don't think you're going to run into this issue with any other size other than 8.5 by 11. 8.5 by 11. I'm sorry, 12 by 12. I'm so sorry. So much talking, so much eating. Yeah, bad combination. Okay. So, with paper pads, what I wanted to talk about today on our 12 by 12 paper pads is that when paper pads started to first come out into the scene, I thought to myself, how could they sell these paper pads? Because especially with American Crafts, they're 36 sheets mostly. Well, they were 48. Now they're 36. Everything's going down in size, but the price. Okay, so I thought, how are they selling these paper pads cheaper than if you were to buy the individual papers? And I thought, it must be the paper weight. Then I thought, no, because American Crafts paper weight is American Craft paper weight, okay? Yeah, I'll change the topic on that. I honestly wish their paperweight would be a little bit better, but I'm not going to go there. I'm just happy they're in business, okay? There we go. So what I wanted to say, and I'm going to move this because this is what I'm going to play with today, but we're just going to talk, right? We're going to talk and have fun. Okay, so I'm going to bring out this Maggie Holmes Carousel paper pad. Beautiful paper, beautiful line. Of course, you know, we all love Maggie Holmes, everything, okay? So this is the paper pad. And so, of course, 36 sheets. But, you know, hey, used to be 48, but we're not going to go there. But I will say, in this 36, there is glitter paper, which is different for a paper pad. Usually paper pads don't do the treatment, so that's a nice thing. So I think the reason why American Crafts is starting to have to do that, because, you know, some of the big box stores, they're matching toe-to-toe with some of these manufacturers. Can I get an amen? So what I wanted to show was, when you get things in a paper pad, you know, papers in a paper pad, be a little cautious that they may not always match the loose 12x12 pattern papers that you buy individually, okay? And that's what the first thing I started to notice. Now, with American Crafts, it's not the weight. It is the color, the richness of color that is different. And I wanted to show a few examples. Okay. Now, why would this matter? Well, you know, if you love pretty paper, sometimes, you know, you kind of get to be a little bit of a paper snob. We know that because we love paper, okay? And also, too, if you're paying 99 cents for a sheet, you know, that's a lot different than buying a paper pad. But you have to take in consideration, what is the project. If you're going to make a flip album or, you know, a mini album, this is where you're going to run into trouble, because your single sheets will not match your paper pad sheets. They just won't. American Crafts, and I don't want to say this as a bad thing, but American Crafts is the one I noticed that they don't match the most. I'll put it that way. Okay, so what I mean, for example, this is my 12x12 carousel pattern paper, single sheet. You can tell it has a branding strip. Okay, if you match this up, and I'm hoping my camera will pick it up, because I do have some natural lighting here. You see how there's a difference in the saturation, okay? And this is very beautiful, very bright, very... It's not crisp because that's not the collection itself. The collection itself is not a crisp line. But if you put it with the paper pad, there's difference in the saturation. There is a difference, if I can match it up piece by piece. See, there's a difference in the saturations. I think these are more muddier. Now, for some people, that's going to be fine. But just be aware that your loose paper will not, you put this side by side, it's not going to match, okay? Now, some people say, well, that's not a big deal. For some of us, it is a big deal, okay? This kite paper is definitely, there's a difference. And I'll see if I can pick out these two kites here. This is like a jadeite green. This is an emerald green. That is a huge difference, okay? So the single sheets, in my opinion, are definitely way prettier, and I think in Maggie Holmes style, which is the jadeite green, the mint. Now see how this is like an aqua and this is a darker teal, okay? And you can definitely see, and I'll bring that a tad closer. Look at these two kites right here. See the difference in that? And I'm hoping you can see. There is clearly a difference, okay? And what was the other couple of sheets? Okay, now the other sheet I had was definitely this pink. Look at this pink rose, okay? Now, some people would say, well, this in the paper pad is a more saturated and more bold. It may look that way, but it's a little bit more muddier, okay? It's not, and like I said, this is not a crisp collection. You know, it's not clear images, because that's the style of the carousel. But there definitely is a difference in that pink, okay? This was exactly, I think, what, you know, the designers of the Maggie Holmes collection was going for. This is just, yeah, it's different, okay? And then also, look at this, okay? I'll meet these up. This is a baby pink. This is just a pink. And you can just tell the colors are just, I don't even know how I wanted to say. I would, well, you know what these are. These are a second, what do they call them? A second generation printing? Is that what they call them when they put them in a paper pad? Someone may know that. There's a technical term for the printing process they do when papers come in a paper pad versus when they're loose. I did know that at one time, but you can clearly see there's a difference. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you have loose papers and a pattern paper. Now, if you weren't playing with loose papers, nothing's going to matter. But if you're someone who does a little bit of both, and, you know, say if you just wanted to, you had this as a single sheet, and then you thought, oh, well, I wanted to make a flip album, so I want 4 or 5 more. You think, well, I can buy a paper pad cheaper. It's just not going to be the same. It just isn't, okay? So that's just a little a little thing to be aware of, okay, when you're buying paper pads versus the loose 99 cent sheet up to $1.29 sheet. There is clearly a difference, okay? And like I said, I think American Crafts is the one I think that is most notable for that. Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's notable, okay? And noticeable, okay? Now, with Authentique, there's something to know about their paper pads, okay? Now, with Authentique, their papers are keep increasing in price. Nothing wrong with that. However, when I'm going to pay $1.19 for a sheet of paper, okay, for Authentique now, I'm talking Authentique, okay? If I'm going to pay $1.19 for a set of for a sheet of paper, I want that to be textured because that's what Authentique is known for. It's kind of like Cartabella. You know what I'm talking about? They have that beautiful textured paper. Well, that's what I expect of Cartabella, okay? That's what makes Cartabella Cartabella. And Authentique at one time, what made them so special was their texture on their paper. So if you, and I didn't know this until I started buying their paper pads after the first one came. And this, I think this was the one. When this came, I was like, well, where's the texture? I mean, it's just flat paper. Pretty paper, but where's the texture? So, again, these might be a tad cheaper than the single sheets, but you have to be aware that it's not going to be the same. Now, with Authentique, they get to be a little tricky, okay? And I even spoke with Authentique about this one day because I wondered why when you ordered paper from some places online, that it was textured and other places it wasn't, okay? And it was like, okay, it's a crapshoot. How do you know what you're going to get? If I'm paying $1.19 for a single sheet of paper, I want the textured. So I had talked to Authentique, and they had told me, okay, and this is what I'm talking about. And I know this won't show up, but this is a textured, beautiful piece of paper. It's textured. It's just, it's got, you can feel it. It's just lovely, okay? Lovely, lovely, okay? So when I spoke with them about that, they said that whatever papers that the actual store requests is what Authentique sends them, meaning that some stores will carry the textured paper if they ask for it, okay? And that they specifically know to ask for it. So the reason I'm saying this is that Scrapbook Generation is the only online store that I know of, you know, and I don't shop at 10 million stores, only about 5 or 6. But Authentique or Scrapbook Generation is the only store I know online that you can order, and if it comes in textured, you will get textured, okay? Now, Authentique in and of itself does not have textured in every single collection, which that irritates me beyond. If you're going to do it in one collection, do it in all of them, okay? That's what you are known for, okay? So why did I go on to that? Because sometimes, you know, I don't want to say companies do the bait and switch, but sometimes they do the bait and switch. And so, if you like Authentique, but you want the textured paper, okay, I suggest looking at Scrapbook Generations, and I'll have their link below because they're like I said, they're one of the very few. In fact, this is the only store I know right now. And I don't want to say other stores because there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that Scrapbook Generations, if the line is in textured, if it comes into textured finish, then Scrapbook Generations is the one that will have it. And that's what you'll get. You won't have to get in the mail and like, well, that's not textured. Okay. And so I just double checked with them a few days ago. And yes, that's still, because I've been on a spending freeze. And so that's still the way the Scrapbook Generation stills buy Authentique in the textured. So when you buy Authentique paper pads, or you will get the collections, and I know a lot of people are showing them up in Tuesday morning, they're not going to have textured, okay? And that's why they're cheaper. And I don't know about weight because I haven't been buying anything this year, but I will tell you manufacturers are going with less and less paper weight, okay? I only know of a couple that haven't done the bait and switch, and that would be Cartabella, Echo Park, and Photoplay. Those are the 3 I know for sure have not done the bait and switch because I don't like that. And I'll call manufacturers and tell them, I don't like that, okay? And, you know, it doesn't hurt because they like to hear feedback. If it's a good company, they want to hear feedback because we buy their products, right? Okay, so with Authentique, if you were to buy a paper pad from Authentique, doesn't matter where you're going to buy it, it's always going to be non-textured papers, meaning they're just going to be flat. There's no texture at all, okay? I didn't know that until a few years ago. I just thought Authentique, textured paper. No, not the case. So that was a whole bunny trail to say. When you're buying a paper pad, realize, yes, they are less expensive. However, you're getting maybe less in product if you're used to buying 12 by 12 single sheets, okay? Now, if you're not someone who's used to buying them in this, then maybe you won't even notice a difference. But I thought that was something we would talk about today. Okay, so now let's get into the meat of the party. And the meat of the party is I'm actually going to play again today. I'm going to do a fast page, and we're going to have some fun scrapbooking. So as I start every one of my start to finish layouts, you know what I do: paper, sketch, photos, photos, sketch, paper. Yes. And so what I'm going to do today is I am going to use a sketch and a layout. Well, it's not a sketch, but it's a layout from the most talented Lisa Dickinson, and I will have her blog below. I think everything she does I just love. Yes, she's very talented. And so this was in the scrapbook and cards today, and I will have the link to that because I wanted to show that. And I think I showed this in another video, is that I will go, when their magazine the issue comes out, I will go on and I will print just the layouts that inspire me according to my style. And so that way I have like a magazine, because I have quite a few printed out. And it's like I have a magazine, but you know, I don't have to buy a magazine because that's the only scrapbook magazine I know of nowadays. So anyways, that's what we're going to do today. And so I thought, well, I'm going to pull out a paper pad and I'm going to let that be my inspiration along with Lisa's beautiful layout. Now hers says scenes from winter, but mine is definitely going to be summer because that's what I'm in the mood to scrap. I see everybody scrapbooking summer, and that's what I wanted to do today. Yes. Now I have a headache, but I'm going to muddle through. Okay. Now, okay. So I thought I would pull out this authentic paper pad and I would figure out what I'm going to do. Now, if you look at Lisa's layout here, she basically just has 2 pieces of paper, and then she has, I'll bring this a little closer, and then she has some smaller pieces. So I thought, well, I really don't know if I'm going to cut up a 12 by 12 for a little bit of that, but we will see how it goes, right? Okay, so I thought what I would do is I would go through the paper pad and see what I want. And I really only have 2 pieces of paper. However, I'm going to let the paper of the, in this paper pad inspire me as to what, because I have no idea. I mean, I definitely have, I have red, I have peach pie, s'mores, corn, peaches, tomatoes. Yes, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay? So I really only need 2 pieces of paper. Now, she does have these smaller pieces. What will I do? I don't know. I guess it depends on what type of paper I see. And of course, I have my photos here because that's my inspiration. And this is a really nice collection. Every time I see this, it reminds me of visiting the Longenberger town of Dresden, Ohio. And I really need to get those photos somehow, decided upon. There's strawberries. There's green. I really like this. In this, it's like someone's grocery list, I think. Yes, it is. Love that. Love that. So, have you ever visited that Longenberger? I didn't go into the building or anything, just the town itself. And I definitely need to print those photos. So, I just thought every time I see that, does anybody else get reminded of that? That was very... Longenberger baskets were the thing one day. I mean, that was many years ago, but they were the thing. The thing. Now, I really like that. I really, really, really do. Okay? Now, I had said in another video, I do not like to tear my papers out of my paper pad unless I'm decided because, I really don't want ladybugs. Oh, that gingham. Just beautiful as can be. Now, I will tell you, this matches my... Okay, here's a prime example. This matches my colors to a T. But guess what? I don't like that paper. No. And that's unusual because it's floral, but that's just, I don't know. It's not my thing. No, that the polka dot, come to mama. I'm definitely not using ants, but that's cute. And that is definitely cute. A little too busy for me. Okay, well, we just know that's going to happen. Yes. Yes, because I was looking at Lisa's sketch or layout here, and I thought I definitely want to do something you know, she has some stitching on here, but I'm going to do something else. And she had a light, you know, it wasn't very busy. So I had to keep that in mind. So I thought, well, that would definitely work for that or one of them. So, okay, let's work for a mat. Okay, now since I am dealing with food, it would be nice if I had something, and I know this has some kind of fruits and berries. Okay, so what are my choices? I have that strawberry there, and I also had, there was another strawberry. I had that, okay? Now, I think, don't you just love when you look at papers and they just, you know, a story pops in your head, and you're like, oh, I want to do that, and I want to do that. I really like that, but I don't want to cover up all that writing. But that would be definitely cute. That would be an option. Okay. Now, you gals that love those stripes, there you go. That would be nice. I don't want to lose that. That would be nice. Okay. Now, I know I saw... You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to go with that strawberry because I don't really have... That would be cute. Okay. So, yes, in our paper pad party, we're playing. Have you been playing with your paper pads? Have you been organizing them and then realizing you're falling in love with them all over again? And just saying, yes, that's why I bought that. That's why I bought that. Have you been purging a lot? Okay? Now, I want to say something about purging. Because I just talked about this in another video, and I think it needs to be repeated. Okay? Those are my two papers. Yes, now I know this strawberry is going to have to go in the background because I want to do something, a treatment, and I can't do it on the strawberries. I love that strawberry. Love that. Oh, yeah, okay, I have an idea. Okay. Now, Authentique is very unique in the fact that they have quotes on the very top of their papers, whether you're buying them in a paper pad or single. And for the whole collection, it's the same quote, but I think that's a nice little touch. And this was called Cheerful by Authentique. And what was the year? 2016. Now, I will tell you one thing about Authentique that is a really good thing to know. Made in USA. Yes. Hello. Thank you, Authentique. Yes, yes. Okay. So, what I wanted to say. Have you been purging? If you have not been purging, here's what I want to tell you. That's okay. You do not have to purge. No one says you have to purge, and don't be forced into feeling like you have to purge. Because if someone came in and said, you get rid of 2 paper pads, nope, I'm not getting rid of any. Of course, I haven't been buying any, you know, like I normally do. So no, I'm not getting rid of any. No, things are going up in price. You know, everything else is going up in price. I'm going to have less money for my hobby probably as every year goes by. So no, I'm not purging a ton of things. But then I don't have a huge inventory, but I don't have a small inventory. I have a moderate inventory. And that's what I wanted to say. I had said in another video, it's okay if you have items, tools, gadgets, paper pads, whatever, in your inventory and you're not using them all the time. That's okay. You know why? Because you can't use everything in your inventory on every page every month. It just cannot be done. Okay? We have a hobby that isn't, there's a lot of elements, there's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of components to this hobby. Okay? So what I wanted to say is, I noticed there's a trend for people to be having huge destashes on YouTube and purging, huge purging, because of the whole KonMari method and everything. Nothing wrong with that. If you know you're not going to use it and you don't love it anymore, if it's not your style, by all means purge. But if you're on the fence, especially with tools and gadgets, even paper pads, because paper pads can be expensive if you don't buy them on sale. Especially like Authentique paper pads. I do not know where you can ever, well, you can't use a coupon because you have to buy them online. So what I'm saying is, because I see people purging things and then they start to feel bad because they're like, oh, I probably should have kept hold of that. So the guilt that you feel by having things in your inventory is no different than the guilt you're going to feel if you purge it and you shouldn't have. Okay? So don't replace one guilt for another. Purge when you are ready. Purge when you are just totally not in love with it anymore. Don't purge it because you think that's what everybody else thinks you should do. Okay, so moving on. Yes, don't replace one guilt for another. Now, here I have 2017, and I will put that here. Oh, you know what? Maybe that would be good right there on that photo. Oh, I really like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I might just do that because, you know, I have some dead space on that plate. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I did not plan for that, but as I was cleaning up my desk from another layout, these numbers spilled over. And I saw these numbers and I thought, oh, well, wouldn't that be good to put on here? Because that's what Lisa had on her layout. So I thought, oh, happy accident. So then I thought, well, I'll just go look at some other wood veneer. And so that's what I have to play with. I think this is supposed to be a peach. I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but then I have a mason jar, but I have, you know, some watermelon, but I'm keeping that for another layout. I have some strawberries, which I'm keeping that for another layout. Yes, so I have some other elements in there. There's some cherries. I may do a cherry or a peach or mason jar. Who knows? Okay, so I have these wood veneer to play with because usually if I pull out a wood veneer for something, I'll pull it out for 3 clusters. That's usually what I do. Okay, now, what did I also wanted to get into? In Lisa's layout, I believe this is actual stitching, okay, because she's really known for using her sewing machine. So, and I thought, you know what, I think I'm going to get some stamping on. I haven't done that for a while, and I really don't pull out stamps in the summer because I really don't have time, but, you know, kind of with a stamp press makes it a little quicker. So I'm going to pull out my Tim Holtz stamp press because, you know, I'm going to be stamping on a 12x12 page. That is the stamp platform to have. And I thought what I needed is a background stamp. So I went to one of my bins where I have background stamps, and I pulled out, I have a lot of these Kaiser Crafts, which I love these. And so I thought, you know, I could definitely use, and she used them just as a cluster base. If you look, that's exactly what Lisa did. She used that stitching, but I'm going to use stamping as a cluster base. And so I thought, well, I would pull one of these in. And I thought, well, I have to take in consideration that I'm going to be using this basket. This is what I'm going to be stamping on. So I have to pay in mind, I don't want anything that's going to look too out of place. So I was looking through them. Nothing was really just, I had thought about that gingham, but then I thought, oh, that's too linear with that. But that'd been cute. And then I thought about the wood grain. I'm like, nah, wood grain on a wicker. Nah. So I thought, well, what I would do, I would go look for some icons. I really couldn't find anything. So then I found these. I found these circular ones, and I thought that would be good because this is linear, and, you know, I have horizontal and vertical stripes, and I thought a circle would be really good. I could just use 3 different circles. I thought that would be good. And then I thought, I knew I had some fruit stamps. I don't have a lot of fruit stamps, but I knew Technique Tuesday had a set, and so I thought, well, I'd pull that out, and within that fruit, it's called Fruit Stand by Technique Tuesday. Probably got a glare there. My fruit stand. I had this chicken wire by Deep Red, and I thought that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that chicken wire. Yes. So I remember when I was organizing that, I had bought that, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I remember I had some space, and I thought, well, you know, it's one of those things where I say it's good if you have things organized in more than one category. If that would have just been in background stamps, I might have found it, but I like it in with the fruit part. Yeah, fruit stand, chicken wire. I don't know why that makes me think the same. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to use and pull out this fruit stand. Yes. I can probably definitely use the sweet one and a melon. That's cute. Cheerio. That's cute. Okay. So I'm going to pull that. And then I like this one today because Lisa had a few things up there, and I thought, well, that might be good to take note. So I just pulled a couple, and I'm just going to have them here. But those are my 2 that I'm definitely going to use for sure. Okay, now then also too, when I'm doing a page and I don't have a kit, well, in the summer it's got to be a fast page. Yes, I only pull a few elements, and so what I do is I definitely go by mood and feel or theme, whatever you want to classify it. And so I pulled some doilies. You know, anytime you're talking with food, pull some doilies. I have these mason jars. I thought that would be good. And then this was already left on my page or on my desk from another page, and it has a few summer elements. And I thought, well, there's the strawberries. Maybe get those in there. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do. That is what I pulled out, and I'm actually going to stamp. And it really, is it going to be a lot of stamping? No, it's just going to be strategically in 3 places once I decide my photo arrangement where my 3 clusters are going to be, and that's going to be the starting of my cluster bases. Okay, so I will be back with a finished page. Go find some popcorn or peach pie, or go make yourself a s'more. Come to the party. Yes. Okay. I will be back with a finished page in our paper pad party. Okay, I'm back with my finished layout, and it came together very quick because it's a very simple page. But I got some stamping done. So excited. So if you look at Lisa's layout, she basically just has two pieces of 12 by 12 paper, one matted on top of the other, and that is your bare bones. That is your background design. I mean, you just can't get any simpler than that. And the photos are clustered within the center, along with a few embellishments. Yes, that's how fast you do it. And that's why I like Lisa's layouts, because she has beautiful pages, but they're quick pages, you know. They don't take hours and hours to do. So I took this wicker basket pattern and I just layered it, you know, on top of my strawberry paper. And of course I gutted the inside of that, you know, because I can use that. Okay, and so then with my photos, I had 5 photos, and I basically kept them centered into the middle of the layout, and I actually had matted a couple of these with the strawberry paper just to get that red in a little bit. I didn't mat all my photos this time, so that makes for quicker pages when you don't mat. And then also too, I didn't need to, because I wanted the wicker to stand out, because that is my mood and feel of this paper, because it's the taste of summer. And so in Lisa's layout, her title was Scenes from Winter, and I put Taste of Summer, and that's what I did. And so I actually, in my clusters, Lisa had stitching. I had used this chicken wire stamp by Deep Red. Oh, I had it sticking here. You're supposed to, it's a cling stamp. You're supposed to put it back on the storage card. Yeah, I don't know about that, but oh well. Yeah, well, maybe it'll stay. I don't know. I don't think that's the best system in the world. No, that's not the best system in the world. But I just have it stuck in an Avery L pocket. But anyways, that's what it looks like. It's by Deep Red, a cling stamp, and it's chicken wire. And of course, Deep Red stamps are made in the USA. You can't get any better than that. So I took that chicken wire and I did these. After I knew where my photos were going to be, I just put some pencil lines there. And then, of course, you know, I did not have my photos there when I did my stamping, because I'm always afraid of messing up. You know, you can cover up, but I don't want to go reprint photos. So I just figured out where they were going to be, put little pencil lines, and I just did my 3 stamping with my Tim Holtz platform. And someday down the road when we have more time, I'll get that out and actually show that process. And it wasn't exactly hard to do that, but because I had some of these, you know, I knew strategically where I wanted the chicken wire stamping. But when, you know, in the platform, it would be nice if you didn't have to turn it to get your stamps on. And down the road, I'll show that. But it worked very nice because, you know, on the Tim Holtz platform, you just flip that lid and you can do either clear or rubber. And so that worked very well. Very, very, so simple. That was probably the simplest thing to do, was the stamping. So love that. I am so glad of that platform, because I will do more stamping in the upcoming months because of that platform. And so then on my clusters, if you look in Lisa's sketch, or layout I should say, she took you know, embellishments here that was red and basically a dark blue and a turquoise, and she kept that all in the same color family within those clusters. And I thought that's what I would do. Down here with the tomatoes where they're red, I just kept some red epoxy and enamels and a sticker all in that area, and then followed up here with the strawberry and just kept that red. And then over here where the peaches are, I kept that all orange. I thought very, very fun. Got my wood veneer in a visual triangle. And then down here where I have my journaling, I used orange and red, you know, to tie it all in. And so then there's my journaling. And then I took this tag. And the reason I used a tag in this, and this is what I say about color bins, okay? And I showed a video recently about my color bins, because I knew I wanted the white doily on there. And so then I got out this white bin, and these little elements was just right in there. Didn't even have to take a minute to find those little elements, because I just wanted something white. It didn't matter if it was a flower or a tag. They work out really well. But, you know, I just love when you have embellishments by color, if that's how you scrap for quick pages. Really came together quick. And then, of course, you know, in my orange bin, I had this epoxy sticker that said sweet, and I thought how perfect, and I layered it all up there, did my journaling. Now if you notice in my wood veneer, and I'm taking that as a peach, I'm hoping it is. Actually, it looks like a Playboy bunny ears, but we'll go past that. Well, maybe they're called peaches too. I don't know. Oh, yes, too much tea. I'm getting silly. Okay, so in here it says 2017. And I didn't have a 1, so you know what I did? I'll put it a little closer. I used an exclamation point. Yes, I did. It looks like a 1 to me, close enough. Plus, you know, it gives a little fun element. It is summer. Things can be a little bit more fun. Things don't have to be so serious. And then in my title, or in my journaling, I put that my last sentence says summer lasts just a bite longer, because it's talking about how we enjoy the foods of summer, but then also how we take the time to vacuum pack and prepare food for the winter. And so that's why my last sentence says summer lasts just a bite longer. Get it? Yes, I know, corny, but anyways, it was fun. So that is my quick, fast finish page from my Authentique Cheerful Paper Pad, and I know a lot of you have that, and it's summertime. Break it out, snap some favorite summer foods you have fun eating the foods, and then have fun using your paper pad. Yes, that's what it's all about. Okay, so that is my page. Come back to RTS, because you never know what we're going to learn. Bye.